399 here, again with a slight video request. Now, this request was made by Toklankitsune and his friends on how to turn an M4 with the mini connection into one that will accept a larger connection in case one does not have another one of these, or just wants to do this with an RC car battery. Now, before I get to this, I'm going to issue this disclaimer. I will not be held responsible for any items that are damaged by your fiddling around. Again, this is at your own risk. Do what you want. If you break it, it's not my problem. This is just a small way of how I'm doing things and how I'm getting it to work. Now, what you're going to need is your soldering iron, your solder, your battery, what you don't need right now, but let's get that out of the way. Your wire off the M4. Now, this is a wire off another M4 that's not with me anymore. It's sad to say in the scrap heap. But you're going to have to find a way to get this bad boy out of your M4 or take your M4 apart, whatever. Remember, I'm not being held responsible for anything that you break. You're obviously going to need another connector. Now, I know there are some adapters out there, but this is, for me, it gives it more power. I got this off an old charger, which doesn't work anymore. Let's get that out of the way. Now, let's get on to the fun bits. Also going to need wire strippers, probably a screwdriver to take your weapon apart, probably a multi-tool too. Now, as you see, I got this end stripped off, just so I can work with it. Now, maybe copper, maybe some aluminum, doesn't matter. Now, what you want to do is identify your negative wire, which is the one with the black with the white stripe on this one in this case. Some of them may have white and red, but whatever. So, let's get on with it. Let's open this up, get the fuse holder out, which is what I'm going to use as my contact point for my positive. I want to find a spot to solder on the other part. So I'm going to take my wire strippers, expose part of the wire. Now I'm just making this a big little slot so I have room to work with. Now we need to find a way to get this off, so I'm going to use my knife to finish off that job. Uh-oh, didn't strip all the way, so do it again. So snippy, snippy, snippy. Okay, just pull that down. Use the knife to finish off the job. Oh, you're also going to need electrical tape, which I don't have access to at the moment, but anyway, part of it didn't come off, so we're just going to leave that down there. So as you can see, the wire stripped. Now you want to do this closer to this, so you have a little room to play around with your wires, because if you do it somewhere, just put this mock together, if you do it somewhere back here, you will blow something up. Honestly, you're going to blow something up. So now, as you can see, I got this ready. Let's identify our... Now, you also want to pull these wires apart, just so you have room. So now, let's get to some soldering. Just remember, you're doing this at your own risk. I'm taking no responsibility for any damaged firearms or any damaged rifles or AEGs you're doing this to. So, got my preheated soldering iron. Okay, now if you can see there is smoke coming off of it, don't bother with that. That's just some regular old smoke that's going to come off of it no matter what. Try not to breathe in the fumes because they really reek. So, if you know how to solder, go ahead and do it. If you don't, get a professional to do it. Get someone who knows what they're doing with solder. Okay, now I got a slight strong connection there. Now I'm going to go do the other side, which I already have some solder on. So I messed up in the first take of this, so good. Okay. Okay. As you can see, it's on there pretty good. Now you want to wrap that up in electrical tape. Do not use any other tape except electrical, because electrical tape works a lot better. Now let's move on to this one. Now there's already solder on here, but I'm just going to wrap the wire around it and use that solder to cover this solder. So let's get to work. Well, actually that won't really work though, but you may have to wrap this up. Ow. Okay, now that's going to get a little hot on you, so don't worry about it because you are using heat. Obviously this didn't work that well, so I have to pump the solder again. Retwist the wire. Now I don't know if it'll fit through here, so you may have to do some modification with this so you can get both wires through. Oops! I almost burned my mouse pad. Try that again. So I'm gonna go with a different approach. I'll wrap this around. Oops! Black one fell off, but anyway, you get the idea. So take this. Obviously isn't working all too well because I don't have the proper equipment on me. So we're going to keep trying until it works. The wire will get hot on you, so that's no reason to be alarmed. But if it starts to like fry and melt, then you have a problem. Now I do have a strong connection with this, but I just don't trust it like this, so I'm going to remelt it. Okay, as you can see, now I got that one on there. Pretty darn good. Now I'm going to have to redo the black one, which is a little difficult if you think about it. So try this again. Now that I have a properly heated soldering iron, it shouldn't be that big of a problem. Okay. Now we got black one secured a little better. Now you have yourself a double connector for your RC car battery and your Mini, which also gave me more FPS and ROFs, so rate of fire. So anyway, this has been a Towboy399 video request for Toklankitsune and his buds, who would like to wanted to know how to turn a regular AEG into one with a little more power. So I leave you with a disclaimer once again. I will not be held responsible for any damaged airsoft rifles. I will not be held responsible for anything you break. I will not be held responsible for anything you do. If you want to do this, this is at your own risk. Anyway, laters.